What's up, guys? Cars Ignite here, and I just want to wish you guys here on the T-Toy Reviews channel and Ty channel a Merry Christmas. And well, I want to show real quick off my Christmas display I've got going on here for that I have this year. So over here, of course, I got these three ornaments. They're a bit damaged in some way. And the reason why they're here, not on the tree this year, is because we got a small tree this year and they're too heavy for it. Anyways, so we got some Christmas die-casts and stuff. We have Sally, I have Doc, Clutch Kringle, D100 Flo, there's a Christmas Ramon, Sarge. I don't know where Christmas Luigi is this year, but so I put Pixar Luigi here. There's Christmas Guido, and Uncle Topolino is here because I kind of decided to put some other cars here because you know, Christmas is about spending time with family, so I thought it would work really well. Here's my Cars 2 Snow Globe, which I'd love to talk about this thing in a upcoming video for like a weird products or something maybe eventually. We have Mini Racer Advent Calendar, or 2 different tracks. We have Flo here at Flo's. And then Ice Rink Place. We have Ramon, Red, Fillmore, Luigi, Sally. Then we have a whole bunch of racers, including Salt Flats Racers, McQueen, Jackson, and Nick Shift, and Storm and Cruise. And then here we have Maters, Mato, Mateo, Cruz, and McQueen, alongside the Reindeer, Mini Racer Mater there, and then Uncle Topolino's band. So yeah, there's my Christmas display for that I set up this year. I'm really proud of it. And well, so yeah, that's it for it. I know it's just a bit over 2 minutes, but hey, fine. Bedtime won't mind. By the way, happy holidays, you guys. Anyways, enjoy today's video for Ty. Happy holidays, guys.
Hello everybody, and welcome to day 18 of 25 days of suggestions 2025. We have just 1 week left until Christmas, which is very exciting, very, very exciting. You know what else is exciting? Today's car that we're reviewing, because this is the first custom that we're reviewing this year for 25 days of suggestions. That's right, first custom here on day 18. Every year I got a couple suggestions for customs, and I'm always excited to do one. Changes it up a bit, you know. I love reviewing all these different cars. It's fun to see where they're from, and it's always fun when we get a custom because it's a different sort of thing to review. You know, this is something that I made myself. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Nomad from Cars Adventures, a suggestion from Zuma T. Labrador. Thank you so much for your suggestion, as always, and make sure to stick around until the end of the video to see what car we'll be reviewing tomorrow. Going to fire up the random name picker and see what it chooses. Now, Nomad is a character that debuted in Cars Adventures back in 2021 and was pretty significant to the series during the back half of Cars Adventures Lap 2. He comes from the series' Real World arc, a storyline that I'm quite fond of, where a group of the Cars characters end up teleported into the real world, where they find out that they're just toy cars and they're stuck in my house and have to find their way back home. And they're guided here by a mysterious car named Nomad, a character from the Cars universe who also ended up stuck in the real world and now lives there and acts as a guide for other cars that end up stuck. It's a very fun season, very meta, and it ends up being pretty important to the greater Cars Adventures. Now, the real world is something that I don't plan on really using again in Cars Adventures. That storyline was wrapped up with the end of Lap 2, where at the end of Lap 2, Season 15, we have this big battle that all takes place in the real world. And, you know, moving into Lap 3, the real world storyline, as much as I liked it, was something that I wanted to leave behind. I didn't want to really revisit that, and I currently don't have any plans to. It is a significant and iconic part of Cars Adventures, but for what I'm doing now, it's not very relevant to the series. But Nomad is a character that I really like, and I know a lot of you guys really like him, so maybe we'll see him again at some point. I definitely would love to show him again before the end of the series. Now, Nomad was made based on a Damage Jackson Storm custom I had once. I have a couple different Damage Jackson Storm customs. Back in the day, I had a lot of duplicate Jackson Storms for multi-packs, and also ones that I just bought to repaint. And that was because back when Cars Adventures was starting out in its early days, it was full of custom racers based on Cars channels that I was friends with at the time. I would go out and buy next gens and paint them up and make these YouTuber customs, and that was something that I stopped doing in 2018. As my channel grew bigger, I got more and more requests for people to add them into the series, and I didn't want to have to keep on making more and more customs. It was becoming a bit overwhelming, so I was like, okay, I'm going to stick with the characters I have now and use them in the series, and I'm going to stop making new ones. And eventually, most of those channels fell away, and they all just kind of awkwardly stopped appearing in Cars Adventures over time. And that left me with a bunch of spare Jackson Storms, a few of which I turned into a series of different Damaged Jackson Storm customs for a storyline where Jackson gets into a big crash. And yeah, so that was the basis for Nomad. That's why he's based on Jackson Storm, but he's all kind of wrecked. He was actually sanded down and covered in scratches, something you could still see since I only did some pretty light coats of paint here. But the other thing with Nomad, see, that whole story I just told you, I didn't just tell you because it's where the body of the car came from. It's also because it's relevant to his actual in-universe lore. You see, we learn later on in his debut season, Cars Adventures Lap 2 Season 10, that Nomad is actually a character named Tyler, no relation to me, of course, who appeared in the very early seasons of Cars Adventures. He was one of the YouTuber customs based on a friend of mine from the early days of my channel whose username was TylerPlays600. He was one of the first YouTuber customs, and eventually he stopped doing Cars channels and kind of stopped talking to me, so I just kind of phased his character out of the series. And a few years later in 2021, after his channel was no longer active, I started thinking, well, all these YouTuber customs I used to do, I never gave story explanations for what happened to them. So I started thinking, what if this Nomad character is actually one of the old YouTuber customs who somehow, disappeared out of the Cars universe? What if he literally was gone, sucked out of the Cars universe and into the real world? So Tyler here became the Nomad, as we learn later on in the series. It is, to this day, I think, one of the most clever twists I've ever put in Cars Adventures. And funnily enough, the backstory episode actually made me have to go back and remake the older Tyler custom. This is what he looked like before he stopped appearing in the series. Nobody picked up on this character being Tyler until it was revealed. There really weren't any hints other than the model of the car, but there was one other hint in the style of the design, that being this sort of hood logo. While the current, or I guess final, Tyler design has this shield logo on the hood instead, the original Tyler and a lot of his early paint jobs actually had a circular logo there on the hood. As you can see, this is a very old video of me doing a time-lapse painting the car for the first time. And so these little colored stripes on him and this somewhat circular shape was supposed to be a reference to that, with the blue and silver, since blue and silver were always his complementary colors. Of course, this design implies that Tyler really got wrecked over time, so I don't know where all the blue on him here went, and I don't know how he got these other paint designs. I guess at some point he modified himself. Maybe he ended up, when he was in my room, he got a hand on some paint and changed himself a bit. Well, the car is pretty wrecked up. Of course, we do have a pretty normal one of my custom faces. Moving on to the side, you can see side is completely blank, and you can see that, yeah, this used to be a silver. This was like my primer Jackson Storm for after he crashed, and I did a quick coat of silver paint. And before that, it was a racer custom for another YouTuber custom, which had silver and gold wheels, and you could see sort of remnants of that faded in Nomad's design. So he's really a hodgepodge of all the customs that came before him, and a character that in universe is sort of an abandoned character. There is, look at the other side, you can see the stripes continue onto his back. And finally, there is a look at the base where you could fully see those silver and gold wheels, some of which I painted a bit more black on. So yeah, that is Nomad, a pretty fun Cars Adventures character with a pretty deep backstory, both in universe and outside of it. But now, before we go for the day, we got to do two things. All right, we got to run the random name picker, and also I got to give a shout out to Cars Ignite 95, who did that very nice opening. I'm so sorry. I got so caught up in telling the character lore, I forgot to shout out Cars Ignite. It was so fun getting to see his holiday setup. Huge thank you to Cars Ignite for doing that intro segment. But now it is time to run the name picker. So as per usual, we got to remove Nomad's name. And it is time. That is actually Cars Ignite's suggestion right there underneath him. And now it's time to run it, so let's press submit. Let's see who we get for today. Just a couple left. So we are going to find out right now. It's Racing Red McQueen. Okay. Oh, that one's going to be fun. I don't think I've reviewed him since he came out. All right. So tomorrow, stay tuned for day number 19, Racing Red, Lightning McQueen. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.